Hello and welcome from El Salvador. Brands of Chloé is all things personal finance, travel, and lifestyle vlogs. I am in San Salvador at my Airbnb. We just recently checked in. I definitely wanted to do a book a trip with me for this trip because I got some good deals. I learned some lessons. Definitely want to share some of those things with you. So let's get straight into it. Back in April, I received a promotion email from Avianca or Life Miles talking about a promotion that they had to purchase flights with miles. It's very easy for me to transfer in points and miles to Avianca because they have a partnership with Amex, Capital One, and Bilt, all three cards that I have. So that was pretty great. When I saw this promo, I kind of just jumped on it and started looking at different options that they had. My sister and I did travel on Avianca for the first time back in December 2023, and it wasn't bad. The service was fine, the flight attendants were fine. Direct flights, we really couldn't complain. It's definitely a budget airline, but that's what we were looking for, especially for a Christmas trip. Everything was super expensive during the holidays, but we were able to make that trip happen with Avianca. So I was willing to fly them again. As soon as I was looking through the options, I saw there was a pretty good deal for El Salvador. So I just did my research and I was like, okay, this is where I want to go next. And that's kind of how a lot of my trips happen. I do have bucket destinations in mind, but I really do follow the deal and I'm flexible with my dates. So that's how I'm able to get pretty good deals for travel. So I actually messaged one of my friends because I know she has a lot of points and we've been looking to do a trip together. So I told her and I was like, there's only a couple days to book this, so you have to let me know ASAP. So she had to check with work to see if she could get those dates. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to. So I was like, okay, solo trip it is. You know me, I don't mind traveling solo. I love it. And I don't really want to wait either on people. Like I want to book something right away. So when she told me that she wasn't able to, it was sad, but I definitely went and booked that trip. So starting off with flights from New York to El Salvador, I used points from my Amex account. I transferred in 6,000 points. I did have 1,000 miles left in my account. And just a reminder, if you're trying to book an Avianca flight with miles, you have to go to a separate website, which is called Life Miles. Still your same login information, but it's just a separate website. So when you want to book with points, you go to lifemiles.com. I went to go pick my flights. It was about a little bit over 3,000 points per flight. So these are the flight options I got. Another little tip, I always forget this as well. It asks for this little PIN or identification number and you just put 4 zeros. So 0000, and that's fine. My round trip flight was 6,280 points, spent $108.43 in taxes. On Avianca's website, the total cash value for my flights was $495.93, and that gave me a 6.5 cent per point value for 6,000 points. I had this in mind, this is going to be a solo trip. Up until maybe sometime in July, I was talking about it with my sister and she was just like, I want to go. I was like, okay, like I don't really mind. I was gonna go by myself, but if you want to, I was telling her the price breakdown of Airbnbs, possible hotels, etc. And she was like, yeah, she was interested. I was able to find a deal for my sister. Her flight was originally going to be $526, and I was able to get it for her for $373. Big savings. No credit cards because she doesn't have it. She just booked it with her debit card. So stay tuned for that video. I'll walk you through how we did that. Okay, so that was the flights. Next, let's talk about accommodations. Honestly, for solo trips, sometimes I can be pretty lazy. If I know I have nobody else depending on me for information, I'll search and have a general idea, but I'll wait very last minute to book things. So I booked this flight in April and I didn't book any of my hotel or Airbnb until July. I really waited last minute for this, but it's fine. It worked out. My plan all along was I was going to do 2 nights at a hotel and 1 night at an Airbnb. And that's because I figured I was going to be able to get 2 nights for free at a hotel here. And then I would just pay for the Airbnb the 1 night. Well, learn from my mistakes and understand that hotels have price calendars for points if you're trying to book with points. So all along I was doing my research and I was putting in the dates, the 2 nights that I wanted to stay at the hotel, and that's a Hyatt hotel here in El Salvador, and it was saying 3,500 points per night. So in total for the 2 nights, it would have been 7,000 points. I have a Bilt credit card and that's how I'm able to transfer points into Hyatt. I honestly don't use that card much anymore. I don't accumulate points that quickly. I was like strategically trying to get up to the 7,000 points again because I had like blew through all of my points at the beginning of the year for my South Africa trip. But I was strategically trying to get all of these points, enough to get the 2 nights free at the Hyatt. And when I finally had enough, I went to go book it. And lo and behold, it said I didn't have enough points. And I'm like, how is that? It's 3,500 points a night. Oh, no, no, no. I called it up and she's like, you don't have enough points. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, it's 3,500 points for one night, but the other night is 5,000 points. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, you can look on the calendar how much each night is. And I was like, oh, okay. Thank you. So I ended up only being able to book one night for 3,500 points, and then I was left to see if I could either get more points in time or just do an Airbnb for 2 nights. We ended up doing an Airbnb for 2 nights because I just couldn't be bothered, and honestly the Airbnb options are very nice here in El Salvador, so it worked out. Quickly, I want to show you what the calendar looks like and how you could find it, and just double check that the dates that you want are actually the amount of points that it's saying and not just the first screen that I was looking at all along. So let's walk through an example of how you could find the price calendar. When you select the location of a Hyatt hotel you want, right there it's going to say points calendar, and you could scroll through the different months and you can see. So right now I'm showing you the example for San Salvador. This isn't just for international destinations, for all their hotels. So here's a Miami example, same thing, you click on points calendar and you could just scroll through the months and see the off-peak dates, the peak dates, everything. Okay, so I booked one night at the Hyatt Centric San Salvador, and that was 3,500 points. And this was the cash value for that hotel night, which gave me 4.4 cents per point in value. The other 2 nights, we booked 2 nights for an Airbnb. There's several different options, honestly, for Airbnbs all around San Salvador and like the other departments in the area. Stay tuned for my El Salvador vlog and you could see where we booked. So for 2 nights for the Airbnb, the total came to $245.35. And of course, we're splitting that between the 2 of us. So about $123 per person. You know, I love to look on Viator, Airbnb experiences, different places for just activities to do when I'm traveling. And we did see a few on Viator, and we originally booked a hike on there, but we decided to cancel that, honestly, because we decided to book a driver for 2 days. So I'm here from Thursday to Sunday, and we have a driver booked for Friday and Saturday. It's $100 per day for up to 3 people for the driver. So if you have 2 or more people, it's a really great option, because the hiking tour that we were going to book was $85 per person. Booking the driver, technically that's $50 per person a day for 2 people. And when we get to the hiking place, I think it's only like $10 US for like the entrance fees and a tour guide. So technically $60 versus $85, but we have the driver for the full day. He's going to make other stops, and like he's going to take us to another restaurant that's like far away. It just worked out a lot better. So for the 2 days, it's $200 total, so $100 per person. We also booked a beach house. That was directly with the beach house company. So that was $35 for 2 people, and it's literally on the beach. It has like a pool. It looks very nice. It's going to be a great beach day because I've only had 1 beach day this summer and it was in New York. So does that really count? So that is everything we booked for this trip coming in. Of course, stay tuned for the vlog to see all the other things that we do and all the places we eat at, etc. So the total for this trip for me was $348.28 and 9,500 points. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.